Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Kimberly, would you start with the roll call, please?
Noreen Friedrich.
Here.
Adam Hempkin.
Here.
Andrea Corey is absent today. Kelly Moyer.
Here.
Greg Meyer.
Here.
Lisa Schumacher.
Here.
Tyson Search.
Here. Perfect. That gives us a quorum. If everybody would stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. Thank you. Got a good crowd in attendance tonight. Thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. Always good to see nice smiling faces on these wonderful meetings and be a part of your community. Public comments is next. Anybody have anything they would like to say? All these people and no public comments? Wow.
Correspondence either.
And no correspondence. We're just going to fly right through this meeting here, guys. So no correspondence. We'll move right on to our business, which is our consent agenda. Mr. Grote, if you could be so kind as to walk us through that.
Yeah, you've got two board meeting minutes to approve, the regular one for February and the March special meeting, which was the student discipline. Those minutes have been corrected after being reviewed.
Thanks, Lisa. Just had a
You're
feeling. I didn't
welcome.
know.
You're welcome.
I didn't know. We just had a
Andrea got
feeling.
to us first on that one.
Okay.
Ooh,
But,
Andrea beat me.
She did.
Whoa,
Tyson, okay.
three of us went after
This
Kim
is a
this
tough
time.
crowd if you guys haven't figured that out. So.
All the same issue, but they've been corrected. We've got some resignations. We've got one retiree, so it's not really a resignation, but she'll be, Miss Wheeler will be retiring June of 2028. We've got three certified, a CTE and an elementary teacher, and as much as I hate to say it, our assistant superintendent is going off to Beth Alto, correct? Yeah. One para, but the para that's resigning, we're actually got her on as being hired. She's going to work as a sub while she gets her certificate and then transfer over into the teacher position. And then 4 extra and co-curriculars. So long list, but that is this part of the season. The hiring, we've got a paraprofessional to replace the paraprofessional that we're losing. But then we've also have Nicole Kinkelier. Was I close?
Sure.
Okay. She's going to be at Parkview, and then Kristen Thomas is going to be at Eagleview. Those two are, we have that one position that's split between Eagleview and Parkview, and so those two people are filling that one person, and they're going to be full-time at both buildings. We are hiring Annie Dent as our 5th grade teacher, replacing a retiree. We're excited about that, as she's been our drama instructor for a while. Whitney Heaton, school social worker, that's replacing the Eagleview social worker who's leaving us. Allison Urian, elementary teacher, 2nd grade. That's actually replacing Miss Worshams, who's retiring, and then a bunch of people are moving to take Miss Worsham's spot. Duncan Van Brusken, 7th grade social studies. That's Mrs. Reese's position, but that's because Mrs. Reese is not leaving us, but she's going to 5th grade. And Sarah Brandenberger, that's going to be the para that's leaving us, but it's going to be the sub and the teacher. We've got extracurriculars, cheer coach with Rachel
Radicek.
Thank you.
There it is.
I saved him on that one.
J's, C's, and Z's confuse me. Miss Radicek will be the CMS cheer coach, and Sarah Klein's going to be the 7th grade girls basketball coach. So we've got the vacancies. We're still looking for an industrial tech teacher, halftime music teacher, freshman girls basketball coach, high school student council sponsor, an assistant superintendent, and a freshman boys
Our SEL half days and how they've been making a difference at Parkview and Eagleview and how they've been doing that for about 10 years now. So Miss Klein is leading them, and I'm going to step aside so they can present to you.
Yeah, we can set our show and tell stuff down, guys, if you want. And then, let's see. This is going to be you in a little bit, right, kiddo?
We do have slides, just going to put in the background to the different Parkview and Eagle View, what's happening this year.
Here you go, kiddo. I'm gonna give you those. Okay. Hi, thanks for having us tonight. I'm Heidi Klein. I'm one of the language arts teachers in 8th grade at the middle school, and I'm proud and glad that I have 5 students with me tonight to tell you what we've been doing. So, as Mrs. Miller said, on the half days we've been spending time with the Eagle View students, but then we've also been working on a project with the Parkview 3rd graders. They have been writing children's books, and this started in January, and they have been working non-stop, and we're almost to the end of March, and we still have a long ways to go. But as Mrs. Miller said, this project started about 10 years ago. I was in a conversation with a class of mine just talking about how can we make writing more authentic, and how can we have a true authentic audience, you know, someone besides the teacher reading what you've written and grading it and putting it in Skyward. So Mrs. Boatman and I have done a lot of contests with students because you had judges read them, and that's someone different with their eyes on your writing than just your teacher. But actually a student 10 years ago said, what if we wrote a children's book for younger students in our district? And this project was born that day, and we have never looked back. And I can just say from my perspective, the benefits for the 8th graders and the 3rd graders, there are no words for it. It has been win-win for everybody. And so I would like for you to hear from them. My perspective is that our time with Eagle View and Parkview students has been really meaningful and worthwhile, but I would like for you to hear it from them. So, Ian, would you start us off?
Good evening. My name is Ian Kelly. The first trip we took a few months ago, and we interviewed the kids. We interviewed them about their favorite things, or subjects to write about, and we interviewed them about their family for characters. And then we came back and we began writing the next week. Yes, the next week. And we did that a while ago, and we're still working because it's a lot of work on these books. And it's really a different kind of grade, because a normal grade we just turn to a teacher and we would get, a letter grade back. It's one person looking over it and seeing our accuracy. But for this, it's also for another purpose. It's for a child's entertainment, and we really don't want to let them down, so we really try to do our best on these books. And it doesn't just help the kids, because we grow as writers while doing these books. And a long time ago, as you'll see in a little bit, we received books from 8th graders, and we just feel that it's important that we pay forward. That we pay it forward to these kids and hope that maybe one day they'll do it too. And we deliver these books that we're working on in sometime in May.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Thank you.
Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Dahl, and this is the book I received when I was little, and this is my favorite illustration from it. When I got it, I remember rushing home and telling my parents, oh my gosh, look what I just got, and flipping through every page, going through every detail of the book. This is the book that I'm working on right now. It doesn't have a cover because it takes a lot of work for the pictures inside, but this is my favorite illustration so far. Yeah, it does take a lot of work, but I think it's totally worth it, seeing the reactions and seeing how happy they are. It may be a lot of work, but it is my favorite activity that I've done in 8th grade. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, very pretty.
Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy. This is the book I received when I was in 3rd grade. My favorite illustration, oh, it's upside down. Maybe it's not. Was this one. It's of Rapunzel's Towers, because all the Disney princesses were incorporated into my book. The book that I am currently working on, I do not have a title yet for, but my favorite illustration so far is probably the magic carpet. It's not finished, but I'm still working on it. I know when I received my book, it meant so much to me, and I remember When I went home, my brothers were not allowed to touch my book. It had a special spot in my room, and my parents could only look at it if I was the one to flip the pages. I know how much this is going to mean to these little kids, and I don't want to mess it up for them. So I take my time, and I'm careful with every detail. I am so excited to see the look on these kids' faces when they receive these books and I read it to them. That's probably going to be my favorite part.
Thank you, Lucy. Let's see, Emmeline, do you want to share some?
This has been such a fun experience, and there are no tests over this book, so that's a plus for me. It has helped the kids to just have good role models to see in us that we're putting in work actually in our education. So whenever they grow up, they can see us doing that, and they can also do that. I can't wait to see my buddy's face. He is so sweet, and I actually have a lot of books to show you today because somebody else that's supposed to be here is at an art show, so I'll be showing her book as well. This was my book whenever I was in 2nd grade, and as you can tell, I like horses a lot. And this is my favorite illustration from that. And then this is my book. This page took me about like 3 days to make. It was a lot of work. I really like this one too. And this is Maya. She's super artistic, as you can tell because she's on an art show right now. But so that's one of hers, and this is also one of hers, and her last one right there. Also, next Tuesday, we're going to have the Parkview kids come over to us, and Eagle View kids come over to us, and they're going to make their own little bunny house with carrots and bunny, so for Easter. So that's something that. Thank you.
Thank you. Davian, do you want to talk about our trips to Eagle View?
Hi, my name is Davian Turner, and I'll be talking about the Eagle View trips that we've had since September. Ever since September was our first trip, and it's been a blast ever since. Every time we go every half day, approximately. But it's always been a blast. We always do different things like color, read, draw, whatever the Eagle View teachers tell us to do. But every time we go over there, no, I already said that, hold on. So one of the classes that we had, I don't remember how long ago it was, we had a flashlight reading time book thing that we had these little finger flashlights on our fingers, and in the dark we just shine it over the book. We'd read it to our buddies. It was fun. Sometimes we go to PE with them, sometimes we go to recess with them. Other times we just stay in the classroom, we do dance videos with them and stuff like that. But overall, I think the trips to Eagle View, Parkview, and all these other things are good. I mean, they benefit both 8th graders and all the other little kids. That's my speech.
Thank you. Nicely done. I wanted to add on one thing because they were showing you all their illustrations because they're in the thick of that right now. But all of January and February was the writing process. So like they mentioned, when it's someone other than your teacher, you don't want any misspelled words. You don't want any mistakes with punctuation. You have to write a great story that's suspenseful and fun and adventurous and fitting for your child. So the work that they've put into these, it's immense. So I'm wildly proud of them, and I love that they see the benefit of the work and then also the relationships that they're forming with these little guys. So thank you for having us here tonight.
I just want to say to all of you guys, like, great job. That's hard. Like, what you guys just did was hard, like, to get up and talk in front of a room full of people. And that's very impressive that you guys did what you did. So thank you very much. And I have one question, just out of, like, curiosity. What was the one thing, like, you guys kept these books. What was the thing when you were that age that made you want to keep that book, or, like, that sunk into you that you could think of? And you don't all have to answer, just whoever has it. Just curious. Like, what was the thing that made you want to keep that book?
I didn't know kids had the power to make such a big impact
Love that.
on other kids, because I'd see the kids around me and we would all sit with our books and show them off to each other and be like, look at this illustration, look at this illustration. And it was just such a surreal experience to have something so personalized to us.
Love that. Thank you.
Also, when you're little and you have these like middle schoolers coming over to you, you're like, you're cool. Like, I will take your book. Like, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the older kids are just such like a role model to us, and I feel like they've made a big impact on how I am today. And I kept the book because obviously, like Emmeline said, they're cool, and so are the books. So yeah.
Great. Thank you guys. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they have some tests to study for, so I said that we're gonna give them permission. You guys can totally stay if you wanna watch the rest of the board meeting, but you are also welcome. And they've earned some Eagle Bucks from our PBIS board for doing this. So thank you.
Awesome.
Nice.
Great job.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Probably one of the best building reports we've had. So.
And we love it when they bring the students in.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
great.
Ms. Miller. We do love that.
Absolutely. So the only other thing that I wanted to just add is that besides the awesome projects that we have going on with Parkview and Eagleview, we really want them to feel connected and come to our school more. So last year we had the Eagleview students come over for the play in December. This year they're going to come over for Seussical Junior in April, and they're looking forward to that. And then we have the St. Baldrick's fundraiser, head shaving coming up, and we have raised just this year alone, I believe now, between online and our bracelet fundraisers and our hat days, our pajama days, over $25,000.
Wow.
The
That's
Snow
awesome.
Angels, so we're really excited about that.
That's amazing.
Great.
Mr. Groden is just counting down the days.
So are we.
That's gonna be cold.
It's a poorly thought out idea.
That's awesome.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. That's going to be a hard act to follow, but
Well, I cannot follow that one nearly to justice. I will say though, I happened to be over at Eagleview one day when the 8th graders were over there, and they were actually in Miss Rogers' PE class, and she had set up an obstacle course, and it was making me laugh because the kindergartners, like after like the second or third time through, were like lapping some of the 8th graders, and they were like, "Come on, buddy, let's take a break for a second." The kindergartners were like, "No," and they just kept going. So I was to say, it's awesome to see. Like they talked a lot about what they do with reading, which is phenomenal to see them in the classrooms. But Olivia does a great job too, incorporating them in on PE and letting the kindergartners show off what they've been learning about their muscles and all that in PE class as well. So. Okay, so start off with some shout outs. I'm going to start at Eagleview with Tiffany Dill. I've been working on curriculum mapping, as we've talked about before, over the last, really we've hit it hard over the last probably 2 months or so. And Tiffany has been a representative for both math and ELA. She is one of our self-contained special ed teachers, but to sit in the room and listen to her speak to what is going on in the gen ed classrooms, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know she was a special ed teacher. Because she can speak so eloquently to what's going on in the classrooms. But on the flip side, that just shows that what she is doing for the students in her room, she's getting them out into classrooms. She's she's pushing inclusion as much as possible, and then making sure that they're getting what they need. And so, we have a lot of teachers that do that, but like I said, to sit and listen, and if any outsider heard it, they would have no idea who the special ed teacher and who the gen ed teachers were, and that I think just says a lot about how passionately she does what she does. At Parkview, I have picked, I want to give a shout out to our nurse, Jan Turley. She does a lot of great things. She's always willing to answer questions for the nurses or anybody, help out students, and I had 2 teachers in today, and they had their ice packs, and I did have to tell them, make sure you don't forget to take those back, because there's constantly emails about we're short on ice packs. But one of the things that really kind of popped her back into my head was I was here working and I was leaving. It was like 5:15 or whatever one night. And when I was going out, she was walking one of our Eagle Zone workers out to the car. They had had an issue and Jan came back up to help because it was kind of a medical situation. It didn't warrant needing to call the ambulance, but Jan came back up and did that. And I think that just says a lot that she cares about this district and the community to come even on her off hours to help out and see what was going on. At the middle school, I actually have also picked our nurse, Sarah Richter. I, again, happened to just be kind of right place, right time to observe something going on, but I was over there. We had a staff member that was having a medical situation, and so she was dealing with that very calm. I don't know that I've ever seen Sarah very riled up. She was kind of stays pretty calm. But as that was happening, there was a student that was having a medical emergency, and then all of a sudden we had a teacher come running down the hallway saying, "I need you in my classroom as well." She was being pulled literally in 3 different ways at the same time, and never once showed an ounce of angst or stress or anything. Just stayed calm and, okay, you're good, so you guys stay here. And Dawn and Jake came in, and Rosemary Langang came, just was like, okay, now you stay with this person and I'm gonna go do this. And so I think just that keeping calm in mass chaos, we have to do that as part of education, but to watch her do that in action was just really amazing. And then at the high school, one of our new teachers, Julie Pyatt, she is one of our technology teachers at the high school and the middle school. She has come with such a great positive personality, really trying to help make some positive changes. But I also want to give her a shout out for, we have a student that moved in at the high school this year, and I think I've spoke about him before, but moved in, spoke no English whatsoever. Julie had him for his METs for his study hall, and she went out of her way to not only find things to help him start adapting and learning. She started doing the dual language program with him online, so he was learning English while she was learning Spanish so that they could communicate more. And then he actually ended up being her Soaring Eagle student and got that award. But what I think was even more powerful was Julie then went out of her way to seek the help of Alicia Arnold so that she could then read Julie's speech in Spanish so that his family could hear what was being said, and then she read it in English. It was just such a powerful moment, and like I said, for her to go above and beyond, she's not the ELL teacher. She's not, she was his homeroom teacher, and just wanted to go above and beyond and make him feel completely comfortable in our district. And I know a lot of teachers do that, but it was just really amazing. And like I said, she's new here and has already, jumped right into doing that. So just, again, few people to give some shout outs to. I also want to give a shout out to our special ed director, Jean Gocher, who was just named the Regional Leadership Award winner for our region at the Illinois Alliance of Administrators for Special Educators. It was a surprise to her, but very well deserved. She does such a great job for our special ed department and constantly pushing everyone to be 1% better every day is what she pushes for, and including our kids with inclusion, co-teaching, something that even like Ms. Klein could speak to as well on that she is co-teaching this year with Katie Rep, and so just wanted to give her a special shout out as well. Some upcoming things, so we have some state testing dates coming up. I know not the kids' favorite part, but extremely important dates for the kids to be at school, be ready to go. So the IAR test for our 3rd through 8th graders is coming up shortly after we get back from Easter break. The juniors then are going to take the SAT on April 10th. 5th and 8th grade will take the Illinois Science Assessment later in April, and then our juniors will again take the science assessment. They luck out their junior year and get to take 2 major tests. But they will actually do that on April 26th, which I do want to point out, and I know the high school is pushing, but that is a half day of school. So I know sometimes they think, oh, it's half day, I can blow it off, but it's going to be extremely important for the juniors to be there that day so that they can get their science assessment done and not have to do it at a later date and miss out on class time. And like I said, this is kind of that same repetitive slide. We're still in that working on the instruction, mapping out where we're at with curriculum. We've made a ton of progress in our K2 ELA mapping out the last several days, got that mapped out. We did not get quite as far today in 3rd through 5th, but hopefully Ms. Haven can attest, she was with us as well, but we had a lot of really meaningful and powerful discussions about what is going to be the best curriculum. You know, we want to do obviously what's best for kids first, and then also make it something that's compatible for the teachers to be able to implement and get everything in, right? We have, fortunately, school is a finite amount of time, and so getting in everything that we need to into that time is important. PE day is coming up soon. Art was done the last 2 weeks, so our art curriculum has been realigned and matched up a little bit more with that. So math is coming up. So a lot of curriculum mapping still going on. And this one's yours.
Oh, yes. $25,000 for St. Baldrick, which goes to childhood cancer research, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. April 6th is when the event will happen down at Aces Wild. I look forward to it because my last haircut was in August. My next one's April 6th. I will, for the next board meeting, I will look completely different. So,
Ian will be joining.
all right, Ian,
Oh, really?
I'll see you there.
Fantastic.
What time? I can't see that.
We don't know our times
I don't know
yet.
yet.
It's
Okay.
it's
Oh,
we're
it
gonna
goes.
get an email and you got to sign up for your time and so that your family can be there and make sure that they get a cheer while you go. So
Do we know what time it starts, like the event
Oh.
starts
I
at
do.
all? You do?
I think the pre-festivities start around noon.
Okay.
I think 12 to 4, but
Okay.
I'll have to look at Carly's message to everybody.
I can send out an email because I've got it in my email box too.
I'm
I
not
just
missing
don't know
that.
it off.
Just saying, so I'm like, I just need to know.
I'm looking forward to it. It can almost go back into a ponytail.
Oh my gosh,
Almost, but- Yeah, the idea of not shaving it or getting a haircut by August was just not thought out well, but that's okay. Soon after the shaving of the head, we have our eclipse, April 8th, and we will be open. Our intent is to be open. I believe I am slotted to be teaching high school science that day because we've got people that are taking leaves, and so we're it's all hands on deck. So we will be going outside 8th period. We are getting glasses from the ROE to be able to view everything, but we are remaining open. April 18th, and I will send you an email on this. The FFA is having their banquet. I went to it last year and the year before, and it's a wonderful event. There is an auction, so bring your checkbooks. But
When is it?
April 18th, and I'll be sending out an email tomorrow inviting you all
What
to
time is
that.
that meeting? Because I think we
It-
have our April board meeting that day too.
We do.
Is 6:30. It is, okay, April 18th is our board meeting night. Well then, it'll be a quick board meeting maybe? And then in early May, like May 1st or 2nd or 3rd, but early May, we are going to need a special board meeting. And there'll be 3 things that I hope to have done on that. The first one would be award the bids for the civil fast track. This is where they do the dirt work, they get rid of the trees, they start moving, getting rid of some of the concrete and stuff like that outside for the project. We will also be ordering switchgear, purchasing, and we're going to go out to bid and get quotes for switchgear, and in the early May, we will be ordering it. There is a 16-month lead time on switchgear. So ordering it now, in a year and a few months, it'll be ready to be installed into the high school. And then we will also hopefully have a name to replace Ms. Smith as our new assistant superintendent. Our timeline, we have already posted the position. We've gotten a few applicants. We're going to review them and interview them and go through that process before the May special meeting. Getting them quickly will be good because having time where the new assistant superintendent can spend some time with Ms. Smith to talk about the projects that she's been working on. That little graph that we're working on the assessments are next in that chain, and so we're going to continue moving on with that. And then, believe it or not, May 19th, graduation. We are that close to the end of this school year. It goes by so quickly, doesn't it? But that's the superintendent's report.
And the last plug then is we are going to be sending out a flyer, so if anyone knows anyone that is going to be of kindergarten age next year, they just need to contact Eagle View to get on the list. Our kindergarten screenings are on May 16th and 17th. But our list is currently, we have about 35 less people on the list this year than we did last year. And we don't think it's because there's 35 less soon-to-be 5-year-olds or 5-year-olds that are out there, and we think people just don't know. So we're going to be sending out an email to the entire district to say if you have one at home or your neighbor has a kindergarten, next year kindergarten age, let them know. But if for anybody, they just need to contact Eagle View's office and get scheduled for that kindergarten screening.
St. Baldrick's is from 10 to 7 that day. It says festivities kick off at 10. Head shaving starts at noon. There'll be live music from 4 to 7.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I'm voting no, you can't go.
All right, that is our building reports. Great night, everyone. All right, move on to our items for action. The first one is letter A, approval of the non-tenured teachers.
Yeah, this is an interesting little thing we do every year. So we've got people that are going to be going to their second year of teaching next year. We've got 13 of them. 11 of them that are going to go into their third year. They've been here for 2 years. Then 5 that are going into their fourth year. And we've got 10 people that are getting tenure this year. That would include Sarah Klein, Michelle Gilliam, John Guinea, Jody McClelland, Katie Repp, Lindsay Reese, Kelly Search, Brianna Wilbacher, Jennifer Welker, and Danielle Wilson. Interestingly, that's the group of people that that was my year where I was recommending their hiring. So I've been here for 4 years too. If superintendent's got tenure,
No, not for you.
I'd be on that list. Not for me, no. And then there's 3 part-time teachers that are not eligible. But the administration recommends that you approve this list as presented.
Any comments, concerns, questions? Maybe like to make a motion to approve the non-tenured teachers.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect. Next item is our approval of the IHSA membership for 2024 to 2025.
Yes, and this is one of those yearly action items. I recommend that we continue with the Illinois High Schools Athletic Association. The membership is waived. They make their monies through the regional and the sectional tournaments. And the only time we were ever charged with them was through COVID. And so we're past COVID. So the recommendation is that we approve IHSA membership for the 24-25 school year.
Any questions or comments regarding this? Maybe you'd like to make a motion to approve the IHSA membership 2024 to 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tyson. A second?
I'll second. You.
We got a good
It's
tie.
all
Which
you.
one? Fight it out. We'll start with Kelly. You had one earlier. So. All right. And since there's no money involved, we can just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect. Last one is approval of our amended 2023-2024 calendar.
We had a snow day on January 22nd. As I stated, we are open on April 8th, so we intend to have our last day Monday, May 20th, which would be a half day. That's because we had that one snow day, we got bumped back one day. Administration recommends that you approve the 23-24 school calendar as presented, and I knock on wood that there will be no more snow days. If there is, we'll have to approve it again. Yes, ma'am?
1 second. I had a question, I thought, but could have been hearsay. As far as the spring break goes for the 24-25 school calendar. I just
Okay.
wanted to look at that real quick. When is Easter next year? Is it April?
This is for this year.
Oh, this is for this year.
This is for this year.
Just kidding.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, we're good.
Actually,
And it's going to be next week is Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday's a half day, and then
Yes,
it's
I know
Okay.
this year. Okay, never mind. I'm just getting ahead of myself. It's
Gotcha.
okay.
she's way ahead of everybody else, that's all.
But next year's calendar is doing the same thing. Is
Okay, so I had
yeah.
heard something different, and so it's fine.
See, Easter is really late next year, and so we
Mhm.
have a short spring break.
Okay, that's what.
It's shorter than this year's spring break, but also when the way Christmas falls, we have an exceptionally long
Okay.
Christmas break.
Okay.
So it does
It evens
seem
out.
odd, but it does even
That,
itself
okay,
out.
We
that's.
approved that
I'm-
last month, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and I didn't know,
But
like,
yes, there were still questions about why
Yeah.
we have a short spring break, and
Yes.
that's.
I didn't know if
partly
this was the time or
Christmas.
place to bring that up, but I was just like, if we're talking about calendars, it just triggered my head, so.
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
Blame it on the moon. All right, any other questions? Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the calendar as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Kelly. Second?
I'll second.
All right, I think Tyson beat you out, Lisa, sorry.
He did.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect, all unanimous. All right, that concludes our items for action this evening. The last thing is our discussion items. We'll start with our facility study.
I'll just add that we've started looking at the gymnasium area. It's going really well. I will also say that we're always looking for ways to ensure that we are being fiscally responsible. So you'll see some testing of the soil behind the press box, because we might be taking some of that soil, depending on the depth of the water and whatnot, to move as the fill. Thank you. And we are doing that with the understanding that we'd like to see parking up there. There is no ADA handicap parking at the press box, and we are planning on getting that fixed or remedied in the future. And so the testing for the soil behind the press box is keeping in mind that we do plan to have a little pathway for cars to go up there and park. Those are the big things currently going on for that. Is there anything I'm missing, Adam or
Parking lot
Greg?
is moving along the project.
Oh,
on
yes.
top. They have most of the concrete as far as the sidewalks are poured.
They did a lot of grading work
Uh,
today.
They've been doing the grading work, getting a lot of the dirt work ready for seeding and grass. So they're just a couple of steps away from being able to put the asphalt down where it'll start looking like a parking lot. And then so that the path will no longer be disrupted, but, so they are
Yes.
making good progress there, so. Just a couple of weeks and that'll be done.
And then the high school project, we're battling budget always. We're being told no, 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 and we're saying yes, yes, yes. So go figure out a way. And so far, they've come up with some creative ways, and we've had a little hand in some design changes and some suggestions, so it's going well. But yeah, I think we're gonna.
There will no doubt be some trade-offs, but we're.
Unfortunately,
we're
yes, yeah, but our main goal is to do all the infrastructure and have the options later, so we can go. It's hard to build a shell later, but it's easy to put things in that shell later, so that's kind of the oversimplification, but we're doing. All right, anything else?
Okay, nothing else.
And then you covered the special meeting in your
Yes.
superintendent's report, so that'll, and we're trying really to be proactive on this, like the switching equipment, since there is such a lead time. We want to get started on that right away, and just
I
trying.
will have to say, the board members that are on this subcommittee doing the work, their eye for details and their ability to push and shove for the betterment of the community has been nice to see, so, thank you.
Thanks, Adam. And Greg.
Second, no, it's Adam. He's perfect. All right, perfect. Go on to individual board member comments. Does anybody have anything they want to share this evening? Nothing? All right. Board President's prerogative. I just want to say a heartfelt goodbye to our assistant superintendent. That's I was very, very saddened to get that phone call and email, but we certainly understand and wish you the best. And You have just fit in so well in this district and made yourself at home, and I've not heard a single negative thing about you or your employment here from anyone. And that's probably the only one I can say that to, so. No, we definitely understand your opportunity, but we're gonna miss you, so. Thank you for all you've done for the district. All right, executive session?
No, sir.
All right, no executive session this evening. Save you all that. Our last thing is just to adjourn. Would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Whenever I have a problem with that one, all right? Second?
I'll second. I got you this time.
All right. I'll give you the order to that one. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, perfect. That concludes our meeting. Time is 7:41. Thank you all for attending.